this is the total land to sell. In normal development of residence lands, we excavate the land and fill those excavated soil on the soil surface to create flat land. As spraying is weak, it can be collapsed easily by acid and heavy rain. This is a photo of the grasp of Belgrade. This is a location map of landslide in Sendai, in Japan. Therefore, I find rainforest of the land. I consider not as filling to maximum excavation. The excavated soil is used for the seawall. Moreover, I plan to put retaining wall to reinforce the land. This is a sample of retaining wall with stone wall. I also consider to reuse the salt damaged soil. I propose to use these soils to create lemon axe. This is lemon axe. I plan to use stone wall and lemon axe as a retaining wall in proper way. I also consider to use limestone steel to stop the phosphorus collapse of the land. The limestone steel should be considered as a specific measure to prevent landslide disaster in the future. Create limestone steel. With a heavy rain, limestone steel release the water to go lower hill. This is a view of limestone steel in Japan. This is also. I also plan to use to reinforce the land. The trees reinforce the land. I plan to mix the first with conifers trees and boulder trees. By putting roofs, I plan to create interior spaces for residents. I think to use local timber for structure. I plan to create a passive environment system. In summer, the cool wind from terrace sphere caused by the evaporation goes through the residence. And the louver in the roof window reflects the strong sunlight. In winter, warm air comes to inside the residence from glass house, and the roof lets the sunlight come into the room. Moreover, ground heat gives the residence warm air. This is funny. This is a construction of residence spaces. This is the site plan. Residence on the lifestyle scale. This is section. The mountain absorbs the force of asphalt, I think. Similar samples. There are some samples for the residence in the lifestyle scale. This is a Machu Picchu in Peru. In Peru also, Ollantaytambo, this is last scale. In Japan, we have the similar village on the slope land. This is a famous village in Shikoku, Sotoromari. This is the first drawing for the proposal residence. This is a photo of whole model. This is my proposal for the future small fishing village with creating human environment and natural energy by using landscape. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Yurichi Ashizawa from the Ashizawa Archives, for sharing those amazing innovations. Our next and last speaker for this second session, Housing and Community Rehabilitation, we have Professor Shuji Fudo from Nihon University. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Funo from Nihon University, Tokyo. So that I was professor of Shiga Prefecture until the end of March, and then moved to Tokyo. So I'm half retired, but I'm here. So I remember the name of male singer, Nico Tuno. You know, he's still active. Danny-san knows. So I misunderstood. I'm not Tuno. I'm Funo. Funo is easy to remember. Who knows? Nobody knows his answer. You remember? So before my presentation, I am still hesitating to say or not to say. But as nobody touched on this, so I dare to say, what is the day of today for us Japanese? You imagine, young generation? This is the day atomic bomb was dropped to Hiroshima. So we had a big ceremony in this morning in Hiroshima. So here in Leyte, 80,000 Japanese army was died. Of course, Filipino, many lives are lost. So for last Japanese Makasa monument, a little bit ambivalent emotion we have. But not forgetting the past and reflecting the history, we have to mutual understand. It's nearly my conclusion, my presentation. Okay, over there. I started a kind of field work in Asian countries. 1979, already 36 years has passed. The first I visited here is 1979. So I have deeply involved in terms of human settlements for these 36 years. So today, I will try to give you some materials to discuss for the Uganda recovery housing project. So this is the scene of I faced in early 1980s. The left of that photo is Manila, Santa Ana district. This is still many this kind of district in Manila. So the right is Indonesia, the down is Thailand. So this is 1979 Manila, at just before Tondo area. So that is the period of Imelda Marcos period. I don't know how you evaluate the Imelda's period. She don't like some so-called slum area for tourism. So she built the main walls, painted walls all over Manila. So that people put down and then fire for cooking. That is the situation you have. Down 3 photos is Santa Ana district. So in that situation, your professor, your teacher, this is the solution at that time. But okay. Next is your project. Remember? That of this given the habitat of course. This is the plan is realized. So I'm very impressed. Already cladding and then skeleton and infill different system you already adopted. We Japanese law and system. So that solution is a little bit higher for the lower interpretation. So the down four photos is so-called rural width. Maybe Professor remember. I don't know the meaning of width. Imelda at that time is the Ministry of Human Settlement and then the Mayor of Metro Manila. She launched the rural principles. Really, this is for she made 4 types of housing types. Below side for Muslim system. This is good. Using local materials, learning from the traditional space organization. I'm very impressed. But this is also higher for the low income. So then maybe this habitat or some groups all over the world raise this kind of powerhouse project. This is all for Philippines. This one is for the so-called Dagatang area, just behind the Tondo area. So before the habitat is established, you launched a very famous international competition. Many architects participate in that. Maybe young generation doesn't know. So very interesting international competition. The architects from New Zealand got the first prize. But I'm happy that project was not implemented. This after that side, this is for house project. You are minister or president adopted. So I am myself is very stimulating this concept. So another solution. Yesterday I asked Danny-san. He doesn't know. You have the informal good freedom to build in Manila. They provide the building materials lower than market price. People build their houses by themselves. You charge aid. So I don't know. Is still survive, still active. This is also give us many hints. So this is a signboard of freedom to build member. They say Alwagan group you come. Alwagan money saving traditional system. Alwagan. And then this is This, I'm so stimulated this kind of approach. I raise the question. This kind of idea, one more. This is the so-called eco village. You have already implemented early 1980s, 20 kilometers from Manila metropolitan area. So the already wind power and then biogas. This is maybe Mango's America's project. But I'm heard this project was not so good well. All the inhabitants go to West Asia to earn money. I'm not sure. This kind of idea, I raised the question. This kind of idea you already have. What? This is succeeding or slowly or after Yolanda? That is one point I would like to raise. Okay, I will start my presentation. I have many experience. 26 December 2004, I was in Sri Lanka. So in the morning I plan to go to the east part of Sri Lanka. If I started 15 minutes earlier, I'm not here. And I'm the whole city constructed by that. So around this city, 500 died. So I'm one of the few Japanese who experienced the tsunami before East Japan great tsunami. So my friend, for several years I go to Sri Lanka to support. This is so I firstly explain my Canton study. I just visited Surabaya city. July. So Surabaya city is the second largest city in Indonesia. Formally 3 million, but including seasonal migrants, maybe over 4 million. So the city core, we have the high-rise building, one designed by America. So, and then like hotels. So, beside that high-rise building, one-story to two-story houses with red tile, we say kampong. Kampong means the village. So I studied closely this kampong. So I write the PhD dissertation on this. So I think the community in barrio or barangay, comparison with kampong is barrio is academic issues to study. I must think similar as I would explain. One information, academic information. Kampong is the origin of farm in English. I never know. So okay. You know. Oxford English Dictionary says, travelers from Europe see the human settlements. So the Malaysian and Indonesian say kampong. Another theory says that it's a pigeon language, but probably is compound is wrong. It's a close community. So even in urban context, but people say in kampong village. So the English is urban village. So I have learned a lot. So I not so much time. Several points I would like to explain. The first is the variety of kampong. In Surabaya, all the people can find place to live. So kampong is very has a variety. One kampong is rich, and another, even the lowest class can find the place to live. That is the important. So in Japan, if somebody buy some condominium flats or somebody buys a house, next to that is almost the same impact. So that different. That is very interesting to me. So the second, kampong as a whole word is a little love concept. I would like to say is it's easy to understand that one place is next to living place. So all the daily activities can be close to one area. That is the characteristics of kampong. And then we are not so familiar with the complex. So Japanese in common believe Japanese is only one tribe. So that every city has many tribes and many vehicle who has different life pattern. That is the characteristics of Kampong community. And so on. ちょっと戻すね。So, this is very surprised, very interesting. Kampong is a highly service society. It because the job opportunity is not so much, even in the city center. Every street focus sell it almost everything. It's like a house is next to a convenience store. For inhabitants sitting in one whole day in one place can get building material and then the time and then the toys. That is one of the important characteristics of town. And so on. I have this kind of the system for the characteristics of meaning. So as for Indonesian urban community, so for Tacloban, physically is very poor. The community is so strong. So based on that community, maybe you know the Kampong Improvement Program goes well. So Abakan Au and baby habitat Au be given to that Kampong Improvement Program. So one more. I have learned many things from Kampong life. One of that is housing is a process. So I have visited many transitional temporary houses yesterday and then completed flats. So I a little think there is no space to expansion or additional space. If you have the land prepared, you should adopt this kind of principle. Housing is a process. So I skip another point. So my dissertation draws several principles. Say conservation of the base component. People's participation is many professors already said. So, and small scale project. Students don't have my memorandum. Please ask the professor. I have prepared some memorandum. Later, you can get this kind of principle I draw from the Kampong realities. Small scale project, stepwise approach, and so on. So this kind of studies to design the prototype of Indonesian home-based. This is a so-called apartment house that professor in Indonesia called rumah susun. But we say kasu, kampung susun. Multi-floor kampung. So the toilet and basic place is gathered one place. And then the corridor is like a common living. As much as common space as is the basic principle of design. That is realized. This is just 2 weeks ago picture. So many are issued. It's a program as for the landscape point of view. So after that project, we had the chance to design experimental building, so-called slab electric house. That is still existed in campus Institute of Technology of Slovak. We use so-called passive techniques. I see. So we use the well water to cool, and then use the coconut fiber for insulation. So this is the basic idea. So, sorry, I have no time to explain in detail, but based on my 30 years experience, I discussed the kind of philosophy or basic principle of reconstruction and rehabilitation. So one point, the power of nature. So people living in big cities, metropolis in developed country, used to think we can control completely nature, but we know we cannot control Yolanda. We cannot control great tsunami. So, on the other hand, nature is very important. Professor Espina said, mangrove is good for protection of high tide or wind. So I myself seen that trees protect the fire in great Hansen earthquake. Nature is important, and so on. I see. So So at the Great East Japan tsunami disaster, I am position in charge of supporting the economic project, AIJ, Architecture Institute of Japan. I have to summarize for the long-term basic principle. That is this. Sorry, I have no time to translate Japanese. This basic principle is the same. I have learned from Kanpon. I have learned from Great Hanshin University. I am not proceed, but I believe still community-based approach is basic point. What I like to say lastly, no conclusion. That is deep thinking, mutual understanding is important. Sorry, my poor presentation. Thank you.
Architecture must really commune with nature. Thank you so much, Professor Shuji Funo from Nihon University. This time, we will be having again our second discussion panel. The moderator is Mr. Jesus Alberto Pulido from Seville University. We may request all the speakers from the second session, Housing and Community Rehabilitation, to please come to this platform for the second panel discussion. Mr. Tadashi Saito, Architect Andres Guzman, Professor Yasushi Takuichi, Professor Yuichi Ajizawa, Professor Shuji Funo, and our moderator, Jesus Alberto Pulido. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, everyone. First of all, as you have noticed, one member missed, Mr. Asawa. She had to left to take this plane. So we still have other 4 speakers for the second session. To them, thank you them all for their presentations. So that we have around 30 minutes to conduct our debate and questions. This second session has been mainly centered and focused on the housing and community rehabilitation. So I think for most interest of you, I'd like to ask our moderators some questions that I think would be useful for everyone. So first of all, they have been talking around rehabilitation in direct contact with communities, study of communities, study on how people live in a way on how they can renovate their houses, their buildings, and their way of living. So first thing I would like to ask presentators is due to your experience or your studies, if you have found out how do you think how important is the size of the community in order to accomplish these projects? I mean, these studies in these projects work better in your opinion with big communities, with less people. In the case, for instance, of your ramp workshops, Professor Saito, or the process you follow in university, Mr. Abusman, or the role of the Fishermen's Association in the Banya, or the studies about kampung communities. Thank you.
In terms of the size of the community, as for the kampung in Indonesia, it depends. The kampung has the, as I said, the strong system. So say in Indonesian language, RT, Rukun Tatangga is a neighborhood unit, and then several neighborhood units together, the RWA, LWA, Rukun Warga, that is Jonaika in Japanese, maybe Barangay here. So it depends. The field I study is from about 30 families to 100 families is in average. But academicians say many talking about the scale of community. I don't know really about that thing, depends. So the plus that kind of the strengths of the community in Indonesia is influenced by Japanese community system under the old system. That we have one dissertation about that. That I don't believe that the kampung community is based on the traditional, the village mutual assisted system. They succeed. So my answer is no answer. It depends. In case of kampung, let me be very units.
I would like to talk about the community of Banya. I don't know actually the exact number of the member of the GAF of Shizuoka branch. Maybe 1,000 people will join in. And then the Banya was established for the first time. The Banya is established for the JF of the Shizuoka branch. So 100 people could use it, but gradually they manage the space. Somebody should block the storage, so they gradually getting smaller, and finally the community of Banya was about 13 or 12 people, fishermen. And they compose field associated. That was size of the point. And many experience I have. For example, Zenkon University House. It is great housing earthquake. Maybe same scale community to barangay in Philippines. Maybe 1,000 person to 4,000 person.
In our case, based on the experience that we had in Yolanda, although the occupancy, of course, is that of an educational institution, but then based on our experience, there is now that multiple use, because it cannot be denied that during disasters, educational institutions could also serve as a temporary evacuation center. So that in the case of reconstruction or rehabilitation, somehow we have to add features that would cater to the other services, not only for sleeping, but for other activities, like, for example, cooking, and some areas that would serve as temporary stock room. And of course, there should also be guidelines with regards to the evacuation, because somehow those evacuees occupy more than what should be the ideal, because people are bringing also their domesticated animals. So in that case, there should be maybe a memorandum of agreement with local government units, so that somehow there would be control of people seeking temporary evacuation on educational institutions.
Thank you very much for your answers. Secondly, I would like to ask more than a question, but I think it's should be like a debate, which I think was better from these forums. That's about the role of an architect or designer in this kind of projects. We have seen in your presentations that these are not what we could call a standard project, where you design, make some design, maybe a construction company builds it, and then the users finally use the building. You are in direct contact with the community for the first moment you start making your design. So I would like you to tell us a bit more, according to your experience, how has been working directly with community, how have you organized yourself? I mean, how you have worked together with residents, community, other authorities, and other technicians. So I think it's very interesting for these young students to know how is work in this kind of community-based rehabilitation projects. Thank you.
How it is very, very difficult to answer. But the people say, or all, most of us say people's participation, community-based housing is important. But I myself think is that we need a leader or a coordinator or enabler And then, as for the building construction, this architect is indispensable. So, of course, the community as a community leader is very, very important to arrange everything. So, but I think the architect is well trained to gather almost all the information and then the sum up and then the system. Architect. Architect is very, very good at such kind of system building. So the architect has the possibility to be the leader of community organization. That's my opinion.
What is the role of architect for community? To think about it, we should think about what is community, what is the community. Community is sometimes it is rigid, but sometimes it's not rigid and changing, always changing. Sometimes it changes drastic, but as an architect, we have to plan, make clear, and then have to build. So it is there is some it is very difficult, but we have to make it clear as architect, but the community will change. There is a possibility to change. So, as an architect for community, we have to plan for the change in future. Not make it. We have to plan in the future. It is not clear explanation, but I couldn't explain more. I'm sorry. It is very difficult for me. When I was young, I was children. My dream is carpenter and Thunderbird. You know Thunderbird? England. You know puppet movie, Thunderbird. For example, Doctor have Red Cross or AMDA or others, but in architecture don't have. I think architecture must make society. I think. Therefore, disaster, at first I researched at the site. I thought what to need there, since we are architects. So we can see what to need there. When I suggested something to need to inhabitant or government office, I consider with them. Thank you.
The role of an architect is he or she is the prime professional who do the design. Although the design is a collaborative product from a design or professional team that may consist of electrical engineers, structural engineers, mechanical, geodetic, and other professionals. Still, the architect's role is the primary designer of buildings and structures. Of course, may it be a simple residential or for a certain community, he do all the needed gathering of data and information. He do a lot of consultative works with the different stakeholders. So he produces the design according to the needs and the requirements of the clients, considering all other factors as to the strength, economy, and all that would be needed to produce a good or very beautiful, let's say, the three elements that of beauty, strength, and utility. That's the role of the architect.
Thank you. I think we have time for a last question. Yesterday in the field trip we did about many areas of Tacloban, we could see that we first decided on the areas, one area next to the harbor, and we could see how people rebuilt their houses there, even despite this area was washed up by the typhoon. And we were discussing about people prefer to keep their way of living rather than moving to another area. And after that, we decided the new settlements, which were brand new, but were located far away from the city. So this question arises, and I think it's a good question that we could talk about that, is in this rehabilitation, in this community process, the new houses they build are, of course, specifically in the case of Tacloban, do you think it's important to try to keep the way that people live or try to change the way they live? Because sometimes when we want to say that we want to improve their way of living, maybe we are disrupting them for the way of living. So do you think these new houses, this redevelopment, should try to preserve the community life as before the disaster, or they will have to adapt to new standards of living in new houses? I know it's a difficult question, as I think it's really important for these people.
So the people's preference of the house type or so it's need a big debate. So for last delegation from Japan, temporary housing, temporary transitional house is better than permanent one. But as an inhabitants, people like the permanent that time. That I have experience in Indonesia and in Thailand also the same problem. That the people themselves decide that. But as for the resettlement project, we have already experienced, many experience. I showed the 4-house project in Manila, 20 kilometers from the city center. That case, not with I say the half, several percentage, maybe 20% go back to the city center because the job opportunity. So here, Tacloban, now we said not so far distance, but the job opportunity, supply job is very good. And again, the house itself is no time to discuss here. Again.
In May, I went to Nepal as a member of the INGO of France, and I supported some temporary housing materials to them. And this time I came here and got temporary housing and permanent housing. But there is some. I felt there is a separate. So I would like to say it is much more, how to say, for example, they can carry the temporary housing material to the permanent housing. For example, I think it should be more gradual. I would say. From them and then use with each other, I think. So. It is a most important point that general public training in a skill. And their lifestyle become rich. In the case of the carpenter project, in addition, it is useful for sustainability.
I would admit that the question is very hard to answer. On my opinion, now with regards to resettlement, what the steps should be that the consultation of those concerned people, the beneficiaries, they are for resettlement or relocation of their houses, then this could be an option, or there would be no forced resettlement for those people who may opt to live in that particular place because of their way of living. So I am saying that maybe fishermen would not opt or go with the resettlement project because for the simple reason that they live there. Now, if they will go with the resettlement, then of course their way of living would be sacrificed. So that, on my opinion, why not design for this particular group of people? Why not do a design wherein all considerations would be taken, that of disaster risk? So that in that case, they will be safe because they are their residential houses, or in that case, residential houses were designed with the considerations of calamities. So, in the same way, those it might be easy to say, but as I've said, this could be the dilemma of the urban planners or city planners, because it would really be based on people who have that experience. They say that they really go back to their place, the original place, because of their way of living. So, as I've said, there should be a consultation on the different stakeholders, even the law enforcing agencies with regards to shelter. Thank you.
So I think time is almost over. So thank you very much for all four speakers for their answers and lessons. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much to our speakers, Mr. Tadashi Saito, Architect Andres Guzman, Professor Yasushi Takeuchi, Professor Yuichi Azawa, and Professor Shuji Kuno for sharing those amazing innovations, for sharing those amazing urban redevelopment strategies, and of course for the moderator of the second discussion panel session, Mr. Jesus Alberto Polito. A round of applause, please.